The African American population has doubled in 1920 as compared to a decade prior. There was a lot of tension brewing during the Red Summer of 1919. African Americans were migrating from the South to cities of the North like Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston, and New York. Many returning soldiers after World War I found some of their jobs had been filled by Southern migrants, causing hostilities between these groups. Racial and ethnic prejudices ran wild that summer, and the African Americans who fought for freedom during World War I again found themselves fighting for freedom at home. There were also restrictions on African Americans working alongside their Caucasian counterparts in the stockyards and other industries. The race war in Chicago in 1919 had been triggered by the death of an African American youth on July 27th. A boy had been swimming in Lake Michigan and had accidentally drifted over to an area reserved for Caucasians. The children of Caucasian descent threw stones at the African American child, who simply floated into their area, and they watched him drown. No one was arrested for causing this African American boy's death. A crowd began to gather on the beach and fighting broke out. Patches of fighting began to break out mostly on the south side of the city regarding the death of the African American youth. For 13 days, there was no law and order in the city of Chicago. In the aftermath, segregated zoning for housing was established in the city. This period of time in America sparked a willingness of African American men starting to stand up for their rights. It was the beginning of a new century where the African American man and woman will face Jim Crow, riots, and communities burned to the ground, while rising above, gaining more rights in a nation that once saw them as nothing more than a commodity.